In my first video I spoke about the Great Depression happened in 1930s, why it happened and what was the outcome I summarized. In this video I want to explain the impact of the Great Depression made by USA for global economy, this mainly because of financial and economical illiteracy. Our channel has started to educate and empower economical and financial understanding. After First World War the US had built massive factories to supply weapons, vehicles, and food. After the war, those factories switched to consumer goods, cars, radios, refrigerators, and clothes. Henry Ford's assembly line revolutionized mass production, cutting costs and raising wages. Prices dropped, production soared, and ordinary Americans could afford modern comforts. From 1922 to 1929, the US economy grew at an average rate of 4.75% a year, very high for a developed country. Stock markets boomed, the Dow Jones Index tripled in value between 1924 and 1929. Consumer credit expanded, people started buying cars, radios, and homes on installment plans. The US became the world's banker, lending money to Europe and Latin America. Presidents Harding, 1921-23, and Coolidge, 1923-29, followed a laissez-faire policy, minimal government interference. Taxes were cut, especially for corporations and the wealthy. Big businesses merged, creating powerful monopolies in steel, oil, and manufacturing. While Europe struggled with war debts and reconstruction, the US became the largest exporter and creditor nation. American banks loaned billions to Germany, Britain, and France, fueling their recovery. The US dollar started replacing the British pound as the world's financial standard. The US was the world's largest lender after World War I. When its economy crashed, credit to Europe dried up. Germany, already burdened with war reparations, plunged into chaos. Britain, France, and colonial economies suffered massive drops in exports and currency value. Latin American and Asian economies, dependent on exports like coffee, rubber, and rice, saw their markets collapse. US President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal marked a turning point, introducing public works, social security, and financial regulation. Around the world, governments began to intervene in markets, ending the old idea of laissez-faire capitalism. Nations imposed trade tariffs, like the US Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, to protect their industries, worsening global trade collapse. Economic despair gave rise to extremist ideologies. In Germany, unemployment and inflation helped Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party seize power in 1933. In Italy, Mussolini's fascism strengthened. In Japan, economic hardship fueled militarism and expansion into Asia. Democracies weakened and authoritarian regimes gained ground across Europe and Asia. The Great Depression directly contributed to World War II by destabilizing nations. After the war, leaders sought to prevent another global collapse. Creation of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank. Adoption of Keynesian economics, emphasizing government spending to stabilize economies. The US dollar became the world's dominant currency under the Bretton Woods system. The Great Depression reshaped the world, teaching nations that unchecked speculation and inequality can destroy entire systems. From its ashes rose modern economic management, social safety nets, and a new global order.